Welcome back, Kings and Queens, to another market open. If you're watching the replay, I appreciate you joining me. We're going to be going over quite a few things today, especially when it comes to crypto. The market's going to open in 17 seconds, so we will start with that. And another 10 more seconds. But appreciate y'all being here. Thank you again. And here we go in 3, 2, 1. Market is now open. So first thing we'll look at is what's going on in this little Weeble diagram and see how the market reacts overall. As we first open, this might delay a little bit, but we'll get there. There we go, now we see things changing up. So S&P is up 0.5%, Dow is up 0.37%. So in the green so far. It looks like pretty much every market is in the green so far. Let's see what we got right now and what our holdings are. Alright, we got 44.92 on Verizon, 87.50 on Starbucks, so that puts us in the positive for Starbucks, finally. Let's look at the Starbucks chart, see what that's giving us right now. Alright, so we got a nice bar. MACD is going up, RSI is pretty much centered between the lines and turned up. It's a little bit of volume, but nothing too crazy. On the 1 minute, looks like we had that little cross right before the open, so it's still going up. Okay, this is a good sign. Now let's back out because we might want to trade this because I've been holding this for so long now, and I'm actually at the point again where I'm not convinced that the market is going to continue going the way that it has been. So when I last looked at this and really pulled back, I was seeing it could be doing a W type recovery or a upward channel. And as we zoom in, you can see that it's kind of been in that upward path for a little bit now, with some volume. And bear with me as I keep bouncing around for a second here to see what we want to do. Alright, so showing a little bit of weakness, no cross on the 1 minute yet, no cross on the 5 minute yet. Let's look at the 30. Alright, we're starting to turn down on the 30. 1 minute, we're getting closer to the cross. I'm going to put an order in because again, I've been holding this for so long, and at this point, I at least want to get rid of it in profit. So we'll do one for, we'll say 87.56. Oh, which is right now. Let's see. We'll see if it takes it. If it takes it, it takes it. If not, we'll play around with it a bit. So it's 87.50, so just dropped under 87.50. Okay. That cross is basically about to hit or just hit. It took it at 87.56. So now that cross, it just turned over, but it's not holding. So it could have been an early trade. I could have let that go a little bit too soon, but at the same time, I made, a little bit of profit. Let's see, I made, I don't know. I made something profit. I think I got in at 87.20, so I made like 36 cents profit. Nothing to write home about. But profit is still profit. The account currently is at, let's see. We are right now at $185.74. I did finally look it up, and there is $150 of what I actually put into this account. I have not funded it more than that. And that was about a year ago. So that's about 20-something%. I did the math the other day in a year. It's not too shabby at all. I'm definitely not upset about that in the slightest bit. And now with that sell, we have $106.01 available to trade with. So this is what I'm looking to, this is how I like to position myself, or how I'm comfortable positioning myself right now as we're going forward. Even though overall I consider myself a pretty risky person, when it comes to building these accounts, I definitely want to take a more slower approach because I I'm basically just going with use what I know and just trust my gut. And these are the actions that I should have taken 10 years ago, and I knew 10 years ago, but I didn't. We're in the positive on Verizon right now. So, all right, we're going back and forth on Verizon right now. We're at 45.10, so 45.11. So we're in at 45.10 on Verizon. So we're in a good spot right now. Everything in the chart is looking like it's turning upward. My order on this didn't hold because I didn't do good till extended, but we will get into a little bit of Verizon news going forward. It's actually not the best, but it looks like they're getting a solution, so maybe that's why this is turning up. And we can actually just check real quick. Let's see if it's showing anything newer than what I have. It's about T-Mobile. Now the so the Fuel the Love campaign is pretty much the biggest thing that Fuel the Love campaign and blocking 11 billion spam texts is the biggest things that I've seen in Verizon's news so far. That would be anything positive. Now I think when I was looking before, this was giving me a little bit of a cup and handle vibe. Let me zoom in a bit again, or zoom out I mean, so that's on the week. And this is why I wanted to hold it for at least a week. Now I think today marks a week of, I'm expanded still. There we go. Okay, so now today marks, I believe, a week of me holding this, which is when I was planning on getting rid of it, but we're just now back at the break even, and our, I won't say strengths are looking better, because when you look at the week on the MACD, it doesn't look great. The crosses happened beginning of this week, end of last month, and that's when it really tanked. But when you zoom in a bit and you look at the day, you can see the cross is now on the upward trend. So this is what I was looking at yesterday, was the day, and it feels like it's really ready to start filling up this gap and run up to the $50 range again. So we got volume, we have a more positive RSI and MACD. Overall, we're $10 lower than we were for no real reason. I mean, looking back, there wasn't anything besides the general market just kind of the cellular or the communications sector is really what dropped more than, that I think prompted this, because AT&T did it at the same time. Let's see, we're in 4 hour. Okay, I think it was around, maybe it was the 4 hour or the 1 hour where I was seeing a cup and handle. But either way, we're seeing that this is definitely looking more positive than it was before. And in all of that talking, we now just lost 8 cents. Still better than what it was. All right, looking at the market on Webull, the computers, phones, household electronics is in a lead, followed by pharmacy. Apple right now at 169. I made some money on Apple before. Thankfully, that's what helped me pay for, living till like now, but now we need to make some serious money. I guess I didn't open that up yet. So let's check in on our space, our Virgin Galactic. Alright, so we're still getting like a couple of backwards moves. I think, okay, so I got some news to go over on that too. That being said, I think it's the perfect time to kind of segue into what we're going to talk about for the day. So let me pull all that up and we'll get started. So we'll start at the beginning. Now, there are some people who are saying, and I don't know how much I believe this, but there are some people who are saying that Powell needs to speak up, some analyst at Bloomberg saying that Powell needs to speak up to basically tell people that they're going to be still adjusting rates and things could get tighter, because a lot of people are thinking that this rally is a little bit of a fool's rally. So basically, as I'm looking in the market, that's what I'm kind of feeling, is there's a lot of sentiment that it's going to be positive, but then I'm looking at Twitter and I'm just seeing what people are actually saying, and there's so many people who are like, hey, you're all fools. This is more of a retail sentiment because of what was said with the CPI, but we're going to get another pullback. I don't know how much I believe that, but at the same time, I've made some profit, so I'm positioning myself accordingly. Moving on to Verizon, as I was saying before, their network was disrupted down in Miami, it looks like. They were having 2,000 users who cited issues. They do have people local there who are working on it. The incidence went down to 200 pretty quickly once they were able to start coming up with a solution. So and this is for their fiber, by the way. So that was the only thing that I saw on Verizon. I was wondering if that's what made it kind of come down, or not, I shouldn't say come down, but I was wondering if that would make it come down today. But it looks like we're still holding a bit of strength, so that's definitely good. All right, UEC, so the uranium company that I'm always talking about, they are, so it sounds like they're in a little bit of a in-between with Denison putting in some offers and UEC's addendum offers, or their updated offers, to buying the rest of the UEX shares. So it sounds like UEC has a better offer, and they're wanting to just have all the UEC shareholders vote so that they can finally, put this to rest, because it looks like, more than 38% of the eligible securities have already voted on UEC's proposal, within 39 or 93% voting in favor. More than 93%. So that's pretty significant. So it sounds like a lot of people are wanting them to finally do this acquisition or get it finalized. But there's more here that you can read, obviously. But this is one of the biggest, or if not the biggest, and upcoming American uranium mining company. So that's one reason I like it a lot, because uranium is a good energy source and it's American. And I live in Texas now, and I think it's pretty cool that they do have a spot in Texas. And this is actually something that also came up that's more positive. Let's look at the chart real quick, see what UEC is looking at. Okay, we're at 430, which definitely isn't a bad thing. I don't know why I'm getting that X right now. Let's see. Okay, there we go. Yeah, so we're at 430, which isn't a bad thing. And we're, still above the $3 range, and looks like we are getting closer to one of my support levels. We did bounce it. But let's go back over to the news real quick. So either way, UEC, they have basically finalized, or they're working on getting to the actual process of mining and working through some mineral rights. So they have a mineral lease in a couple of different areas. If you want to read this article fully, feel free. But basically what they're doing is they have a mineral lease with a couple of different spots in south and I think like eastern-ish Texas. And what that's saying is that they can now start using or start taking up the land, start looking for what they're looking for. Doesn't mean that they own the land, but it means that whoever owns that land is allowing them to grab the minerals and take whatever their deal allows for them to take. So this is good because it's one thing, it means that they didn't necessarily have to buy some more land, so it's less on their books as far as that. It's less risk if they don't find anything. Hopefully they're in a position where they made a deal that they will be able to walk away from it without too much loss. But then if they do find something, they have the rights to the uranium that they take up, pending the deal that they have with the landowner. Maybe he'll get a cut, maybe it was just an upfront cost, I don't know. But this is, if you want to read all the details of the article, it does go into it a little bit further, because they have results, which is why they even want to go here, and then it starts laying out the opportunity for each individual property and what could be happening, basically. So that's that. This is kind of the overview on what they're looking for. If you want to read it, feel free to pause at any of these moments. And then here's a little about UEC. As I mentioned, it's the biggest uranium mining company in the U.S. So Coca-Cola is looking to expand on a big purchase. Now, this was pretty interesting. I thought I was going to be reading a Starbucks report, but this was actually about Costa Coffee. So it sounds like in England there's a place that's bigger than Starbucks called Costa Coffee. And they have 2,681 locations across the UK and only 1,025 stores for Starbucks, or of Starbucks. So it sounds like Coca-Cola wants to make an acquisition so that they can kind of diversify and buy one of Starbucks' competitors, which is pretty interesting to me. Virgin Galactic appoints Matt Bogardadsky as Vice President, Sales and Strategy. So real quick, like, subscribe if you're still with me, and if you, it'll help the YouTube algorithm get this out to people who you think can benefit from this information. But what this is telling me as far as Virgin Galactic appointing Matt Bogorodsky as Vice President, Sales and Strategy. So he's from Rolls-Royce. He was a Rolls-Royce executive. This is basically telling me that they have the money that they're looking for. They have the high ticket that they're looking for in the market. Now they want to make sure that the branding and everything is there and their sales strategy is there to make sure that they can get their tickets sold effectively. So this is just talking about what expertise he's bringing here and what we can look forward to about or with having him on board. So I think it's good information, especially if you are invested in Virgin Galactic, which is SPCE right here that I like to look into. And now Blackrock launches spot Bitcoin private trust. So as we talked about the other day, which I think I might have actually messed up that article when I was reading it, but basically the other day Blackrock and Coinbase Prime made a deal so that bigger investors can get into Bitcoin directly. So this is kind of like another segue or another add-on from that. So if you look at the article, even just by title, Blackrock launches spot Bitcoin private trust, basically what they're doing is they're getting a way for their investors to access Bitcoin more readily. So instead of just doing or instead of buying MicroStrategy, or instead of buying Tesla, who I don't know how much they still have as far as Bitcoin, but instead of buying a stock or a security that just has a lot of Bitcoin on their treasury, they want their investors to be able to buy Bitcoin directly and put it into their portfolio. So this should make it a lot easier for them to do so, whether it's because they just have enough Bitcoin to do it right now, or they're just trying to position themselves properly in the market because of their access with, or their position with Coinbase Prime. So, yeah, I mean, there's that. There's not much more to be said about that, but I thought that was really interesting because for bigger investors, that's going to be a pretty big deal. And I mean, I was going to kind of speak on it twice, but there you go. So you got one from Decrypt and one from Cryptos R Us talking about it. So read whichever article you'd like. This is where I get some of my information from, but basically it's just saying that bigger investors who don't want to go and buy on like regular Coinbase, or who have a lot of money and can buy more than just on regular Coinbase, this is one way that they can be getting it. Now I will tell you, I was getting a little bit short on time, so I didn't read all the rest of these articles word for word like I usually do before getting into them. So we are gonna look at them really quick, just because these are a couple of other things that popped out to me. So Swan Bitcoin discloses data leak due to phishing attack on newsletter providers. So Swan Bitcoin is one of the, I won't say first, but it was one of the ones that I heard about when I first started getting into crypto, that deals with just Bitcoin, and you can use it as like a Bitcoin savings account. So I'm not even gonna pretend like I know what it's talking about here, but if you want to read this, go ahead, feel free. It's a pretty short article, so you should be able to get through it pretty quickly. But if you have anything on Swan Bitcoin, I at least wanted to pull this up so you knew that there was something going on over there as far as the data leak. Disappointing, others haven't helped us give bailouts. Oh, okay, so yeah, I won't get into this, but Sam Bankman-Fried is someone to keep your ears out for. He has been giving a lot of bailouts to different companies, BlockFi and Voyager being two of them. I believe he made an offer for FTX. He says he has made clear, and more bailouts might be on the way for companies. His company's FTX. Okay, right. I think he is the owner of FTX too. Forgive me as I am refreshing my crypto information from when I got COVID back in January. It put me down for a good while. So some of the names I have to refresh who they are and what they do, but it comes back pretty quick. But this was another good article. I think these are good to read right now, especially if you are affected by one of these companies that has been breached or anything. So Indian authorities freeze nearly $46 million in assets. Trouble crypto lenders Avald report. So this has to do with, I think it was an exchange. Yeah, so Crypto Vault according to, so yeah. So there we go. Frozen assets of exchange WazirX. and then raided some property. So I'm not in India, but I think it's still important to know what's going on around the world when it comes to the authorities and crypto, because that's going to tell us what kind of regulation is coming. Also, I wanted to bring this up real quick. So Binance has either recovered or frozen $450,000 worth of what was stolen from Curve Finance. So $570,000 was stolen from Curve Finance by hackers, and CZ has said that Binance has frozen, here it is, frozen or recovered 450,000 of those dollars. So that's really good. So all of that, I hope all of that was good information for you. Let's go back over to the charts and see what's going on there. We got UEC turned back around. Let's look back at our Verizon. So Verizon looks like it has come back down again. And I think this is why I'm going to put an order in for Verizon, for a good to close order for Verizon. I'll wait for the cross to happen to see, you know what, I'll put the order in now. We'll just try to make, let's see, where were we? Where were we a couple of days ago? Because I saw it was up at least a few pennies more than what I have it at now. It's more than that. Yeah, there it is. Okay, it was at $46 the other day. That was about a week ago. So let's see. We're at. Do I think we can get there? I might. I mean, so when we're looking at the 4-hour chart, now not too many people that I know trade on the 4-hour chart, but when we look at the 4-hour chart, the cross did happen around the $44 level, and we have been going up on the MACD since then. So I mean, it could be a good time to actually keep holding. Maybe I should just trust my gut, which is to just keep holding this for a little bit longer. We'll see. I'll put an order in at 46.10. Do I have any levels on here? No. Okay, so this is me just kind of doing a shot in the dark. I'll put my level, or I'll put an order in at 46.10. We'll see how that goes. But I'll keep my eye on it as everything is going too, or as I'm looking at everything also. So that way, if I do see that it's about to break through 46.10 pretty quickly, I can, change it up whenever I need to. So there we go. We got an order at 46.10. If I feel that I need to move it around, I have no problem doing so. But now at least this puts me in the position where I have eight positions or 8 stocks, 8 whatever in UEC at $3.21, and it's currently trading at $4.32. I have 1 share of Verizon at $45.10, and it's currently trading at $44.95. So in this account, there we go. Oh. Okay, so in this account, I have like $80 that's still in the market, and $100 that's on the sidelines that I need to actually keep in mind, so I'm not just letting it sit there. But what we're working up to do is we're working up to be able to trade the stocks that most people do actually trade, which would be like the Tesla, Facebook, and all that other stuff, although I don't know if I want to touch Facebook just because I don't like them. All right, space is looking pretty much the same, which I mean, rocky. When I say the same, it's kind of been all over the place lately. Their news hasn't really been anything that's going to be too amazing to make it jump. I mean, at least the last couple of days that I've read. It did get up to $7 not too long ago, and it got up to $8 again not too long ago. Here it is where we dropped off right before, I think it was another bit of news, or right before the earnings, which I did actually mean to put an order in, but again, this is one of my longer term play holds. So I have 3 shares of SPCE, and we'll see where that gets us as we go forward. So if you want to use either of these tools, by the way, this is Webull. I have a link in the description below. I think you get something if you use that link. And then the other one is TD Ameritrade. I don't have a link in the description, but TD Ameritrade has Think or Swim, and that's what I use whenever you see this pop up right here. And I think that's pretty much it right now. So basically, my question for you is, do you think that we're in one of those false rallies, or do you think we're going to have another pullback, or do you think that this is the skyrocket that we're looking for, the moon boy that we're looking for? I think right now I'm going to keep my positions, or keep building my cash positions, and if I see opportunity, I'm going to jump on it while keeping maybe 10 to 30% in cash at all times. But overall, I think we're looking a lot better. As I said before, I'm going to keep building my emergency fund. I'm going to keep investing in my Roth and things that are more long-term while things are looking rocky here. I'm back to, slowly getting back to DCAing on Bitcoin. and other cryptos, but I will focus on Bitcoin more than anything else. Go follow me on Twitter. I'll post up my video that I just did recently talking about the CPI, and hit one of these videos that's popping up now if you want to watch anything more. But other than that, I appreciate you, kings and queens. You can all win. It is Friday, but Monday, the best day, is coming up. It's right around the corner, and I will see y'all then. So, until then, enjoy your days. God, I'm crushing.